this just came in, we'll do this message first. And if I feel like I can fit the other two in there without this being like ridiculously long, then I'll do that. And so just a few more seconds. Okay, we're going to hop into this message. I'm picking up on somebody having a lot of heaviness in the chest. A lot of heaviness, like a weight. But I feel like this weight is either turning into and or feeding some type of negative entity. And it's important for you to release whatever this is about. Whatever this feeling is, it's time to release it, because it's actually starting to feel like it's adding physical weight on you. And I'm getting this feeling in the chest region, in the diaphragm, so pretty much like your solar plexus and your heart chakra. It's starting to manifest as some type of physical ailment or a physical just issue. You could have already been to the doctor about whatever this is, and it's like, if they see something, they can't explain what it is that they're seeing, or they just don't see nothing at all, but your symptoms feel very real to you. Now, this started going in several different directions. It is a collective message, so you take what resonates for you, leave what doesn't. This could also be someone that you know. You know, put it where it belongs. Don't force nothing. But this, whatever this heaviness is, it makes it hard to sleep at night. If you are sleeping, you're finding yourself not really resting. So you wake up zombified, kind of like as if you got no sleep at all, even though you know you might have been asleep several hours. There's some type of person, and this is a weird sensation, because this individual, you could be dealing with somebody that was in a coma not too long ago, or you know someone that went through a health scare themselves, where it was some type of issue with staying conscious, because it feels as if the person that was trying to assist you, they're physically here but not. And sometimes that energy comes through when someone's dealt with a coma, or they've had like a sleeping issue where they're in and out of consciousness for a while. And you might be dreaming of them or seeing them. This could be a person you haven't talked to in a few years. And you find yourself thinking, I wonder where so-and-so is. I wonder what they're doing and if everything's cool with them. If you have somebody heavy on your mind right now that you feel you should be checking up on, and this energy doesn't feel foul. So this isn't going to be somebody who did you dirty in the past and you're like, oh, I should check up on that person because they're on my mind. No, this would be somebody that you might have been cool with. Maybe y'all moved apart, or just, sometimes people get separated, things come about, and they've just been on your mind heavy as of late. This could be a sign to check up on them, to look in to see what's going on. We've got the Nine of Swords confirming that heaviness on someone's chest. And again, for whatever reason, it feels like this stress is feeding some type of entity around you. And the reason I'm saying it that way is negative entities can take different forms, different shapes. Okay? They can house themselves in your environment very easily by affecting a person around you that matches their vibration. So let's say you're dealing with a person in your living situation that always seems to stress you out. It don't matter what you do, what you say, this person always seems to just, you could literally tell this individual, I don't want to be bothered today, and they find a way to bother you. Whether they mean harm or not becomes irrelevant when they're not taking into consideration your mental health, or how their constant nagging and or bothering is affecting you. Entities like to feed off of that. Okay, I'm going to feed off of that stress, feed off of that fear, that worry, that anxiety. Make sure you're not resting at night. When I was younger, especially having a grandmother from the South and also going out on the res sometimes with elders, you would hear them say that when anybody had like a heavy back pain, they would say, oh, you got to get that witch off your back. You got to get that creature off your back, implying that there's a negative entity that's putting weight and pressure on you so bad that it's manifesting as a physical ailment. Well, in this case, it's the chest and the diaphragm. Now, your diaphragm, your breath comes from there. Breath, the prana energy, that's what literally expresses your life. Breath is everything. So something that makes you have a shortness of breath or hard of breathing, you don't have asthma, or if you do, it seems to trigger your asthma. Maybe your asthma is stress related. You find yourself constantly ending up in arguments with a certain individual whenever those symptoms come on. And then that night, You can't rest. You don't seem to have peace. This is what that is. This is what that is from. And again, I feel like somebody already got a checkup, and you've either been told, oh, we don't know why this is flaring. So they're trying to give you like different ways to calm it down. And I'm not saying to you that your medical issue isn't necessarily there, but you have to start understanding that not all medical issues just appear. There's a vibration that triggers them as well. If this is someone you know and they've been heavy on your mind, this is why they're heavy on your mind, because there's something that they're dealing with, and there's an entity, whether it's coming to them in the form of a person that they live with and or have around all the time, or whether it's just waiting until they're sleeping, and it's feeding off of that stress, feeding off of that pressure, which helps to breed more stressful situations. It's like every time something seems to be going good, they'll run into another incident that has their anxiety flaring. And then once the anxiety starts flaring, they can't focus, and whatever was going good falls off the rail again. But there is some type of assistance here. There is a person, maybe mostly via your dreams, that's trying to help you transition through this energy, that's trying to put you in a better position. They're helping you soldier through this. But it's just one thing after another. Now, some of this could be guilt. A person could have been carrying around guilt, and that guilt begins to manifest as other things. Maybe there's something you felt that you dropped the ball on. I kept hearing like, if I would have done that different, or if I would have been there. You might be the person that you felt abandoned. You felt like, if this individual would have been here, this wouldn't have happened to me. Or if I could have got to that location, I wouldn't be in my current situation. Like you're stressing yourself out with the woulda, coulda, shoulda, maybe if, had I been, blah, blah, blah. And all it's doing is manifesting more problems, more complications. And whilst to your mind, it seems like some of these problems and complications are coming out of nowhere, there is a root cause. It's just like you're not fully allowing yourself to see the root cause. Let's dive a little bit deeper. You definitely want to release this. It's making it hard to breathe. It makes you might feel a tightness in your chest, and it's not always necessarily your heart. It's like under the shoulder blades, straight across each side of the shoulder blades, but under that part. So it's pretty much like the flat part before you get into the curve of the breast or the pecs. And it's like 1 minute it feels like it's your muscles that are tight in that region, and then the next minute you could almost swear it's like the bone in the center that aches. And whenever you go and try to explain, this is what I'm feeling, this is what's wrong with me, either your doctor just doesn't know what the hell's going on, or whatever they're claiming it is as they run tests, it's not that. Like, oh, maybe it's this, oh, it's not that. Well, we don't know what it is, but here's the preventive things that you can do. And whatever medication they could be giving you, it doesn't seem to work, because the problem isn't purely physical. It's emotional and spiritual, and then it's manifesting as a physical. I kept picking up, for whatever reason, like on Indonesia. So if you're from Indonesia, or if that place is significant to you, you might want to look up a lore of an entity that sits on the chest, very similar to how you see the woman in this card sitting on this person's chest. But it whatever it is, it wouldn't look like a creature at first. It would look like a person, or it would feel like there's an actual full-grown adult sitting on top of your chest. It's though for whatever reason, Indonesia keeps channeling through like it's important for somebody. Doesn't have to be for everyone, but it's important for somebody. Or maybe you're meant to look up that lore. Hey sis, if I'm missing y'all when you come in and out the room from my regulars, y'all know that when I'm channeling, especially when a lot of my channeling is happening in the cards as secondary, I don't always see the comments. So I'm not ignoring you. I'm just in this vision right now. There is, again, a guide, a person trying to help whoever's going through this transition through it. I don't necessarily feel that this person is not amongst the living. It's just something about their energy seems to sway in and out. So either this is someone who struggles with staying conscious. Maybe they have like sleep apnea. It's something about struggling with sleep for both parties. And you could almost say it's kind of like this person is struggling with sleep because you're struggling with sleep. And they're kind of walking that realm with you, trying to help you transition out of it. And then we have the tower, and the tower is complete mayhem. You got the chick up here in the corner, she's gone, she's laid out. You got the dude running, but he's looking back because he sees the emperor on the second floor window, and it's almost like that person's thinking, damn, I would save you, homie, but hey, man, I gotta get out for myself. And all he carried was what he could grab. So there could have been some type of event that took place where it's like you only could take what you could get your hands on. It doesn't have to necessarily be just somebody losing a home per se. But let's say an emergency took place, you had to run straight out the door. You could only grab what you could grab. Everything else just had to stay behind, and you had to just leave. I gotta go. I gotta get to where this person is. You might have arrived a little late, or maybe by the time you got there, there was already mayhem and chaos going on. I've been saying for this month, while there is a lot of prosperity, there is a, for lack of a better term, shit ton of purging. It doesn't matter if it's people. It could be a place that you stay at. Some of y'all are feeling really antsy to get in your car, get on a bus, a plane, a train, whatever, and just leave. If it means taking nothing with you, whatever. That's how some of you are feeling, because the energies are compelling you to go somewhere better, be better, do better. And yet you could be struggling with what's familiar. What do y'all always hear me say? Toxicities don't stop being a toxicity just because you're used to it. It just means you're used to it. It's that familiar demon. It's that familiar addiction. And you fall back on it because you think you know it. You never really do, but you think you do. And so it makes more sense sometimes to go, well, if I stay fixed in this position, I know all of the outcomes that could possibly happen. Even though every time you think you know, some shit goes down that proves you don't. And you have to understand all of that energy, it accumulates and it becomes something else. It turns into depression. It turns into fear. It turns into anxiety. This is how you get people who might have one time been really good at going out, and all of a sudden they're like forced hermit. Not, oh, I became a hermit to go within and heal something, but like, no, man, outside is scary. I'm just not going out there. I think I'll just stay in here all day. And whether you think that the lack of participation in the world matters, it doesn't matter what you think. It just does. For everything that you're meant to do that you do not do, there is a chain reaction to that. For everything that you do that you think is insignificant, there's significance to it. Your degrading of it doesn't change that. It just makes it where you're stressed out. There could be somebody that you were taking care of, and then trying to take care of this person, it just weighed you. It's like, I can't do it. I'm trying to help. They're not listening to me. You know, because they don't listen, it leads to this problem. Now I'm dealing with their issue, my issue. What the fuck? I'm seeing somebody kind of like throw their hands up like, ugh, I don't know what to do. I'm done with it. But you're never really done with it. You keep going back and you keep assisting. Or you keep going back and you keep trying to make it right. This could be a partnership that you just won't let go of. This could be a relative that you feel obligated to. And you keep getting this energy of like, maybe if I change my scene, if I change the location, if I got that new job. And this falls into the woulda, coulda, shoulda. Because if an opportunity comes and then you don't take it, now it's, if I would have done this, I could have had blah, 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 blah. If I would have saved up, I knew if I followed my first mind, all of that turns into guilt. Almost like a self-loathing, because at some point the other person could have did whatever they wanted to you. It's your own mentality beating you up about it though. And so now there's an entity. And I'm saying it that way because that's what it looks like. That's what it feels like. It's something that can be both form and formless, and it's feeding off of it. So some of you are finding it really hard. Some of us found it hard to rest at night because it's just a whole bunch of spiritual shit going on, period. And if you do this work, you're seeing it and you're kind of sometimes in the thick of it, right? But this feels more like, no, something is intentionally making sure that you don't rest. Something's making sure that when you wake up, you're just tired. You're tired before you start. You think about the things you want to do that typically you would get excited about. A creative task. Maybe even work. Some people enjoy the work that they do. But it's like the moment you sit down and start doing it, you're exhausted all over again. You're like, I literally just sat here. I just woke up an hour ago. Why am I tired like I've been up all day? It's this vibration sitting on that chest. Something's trying to help you soldier through it, help you transition through it, get to the other side of it. But the only thing holding you back is a bit of yourself. There's a bit of self-doubt. There's a bit of, I don't know what this is, but at the same time, maybe if I just ignore it, it goes away. And while, yes, you might need to change your scene, you definitely might need to move or be in a different energy. Understand, if you don't fix what the problem is right now that's bugging you internally, you're just going to carry it with you. It doesn't go away just because you chose a different location, a different person to talk to, a different shoulder to cry on. That's not how this works. The energy is affecting you. It's in you. So you have to purge it out. In this Cancer season, there's a lot of setups that people are doing. There, all kind of madness and mayhem is going on right now. But it's taking place because it's time for you to confront your feelings as well as see people's true colors. Who are they really? Is that really your best friend? Or has it been an op this whole time? Is that relative really somebody that you're supposed to be responsible for taking care of? Or is it time for you to be responsible for yourself? What's really happening? And as you begin to ask those questions, you must be prepared to receive the answer. What is my motto around here? Don't ask me nothing that you don't want to know the real answer to. Because should Spirit and your guides allow me to answer that, I am not going to tell you what you need to hear. I'll tell you what you need to hear, but I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to give it to you as blunt and raw as it may need to be for your situation. Some people need to hear something in a softer approach. Some people just need to be told, you know you're fucking up, right? You know. Or you know you're tolerating that issue you ain't supposed to be dealing with, right? If you are trying to find an answer without being open to accept what it really is, you're making yourself run around in a karmic cycle. You're just going in a circle here. And what's going to happen is every time life gives you a lesson, a wake-up call, it's going to just feel like sudden chaos to you. It's just going to feel like everything is falling apart. The building's on fire. Everything's burning down and singeing down around me. Oh my God, what am I going to do about it? Guess what? Whatever's in that building that this dude didn't take out in the box when he ran, he don't need. And maybe if the lady who's hanging out the window on this card would have thought about that, she wouldn't be hanging out the dang window right now. Maybe if that emperor on the second floor would have just left the crown and the coat there, he wouldn't be burning up right now. Do you see what I'm saying? Like everybody else looked like they were distracted. We got this one person over here busting out the window into the bushes, right? It's like the people leaving are the people who are more concerned with getting out. If I just need to survive this, I just need to get out. I can rebuild all this other stuff. Just let me get out. The people stuck in the building are the people who procrastinated. Saw the smoke. Oh, it may not be a big deal. Saw the flames. What do I do? Oh my God. Panicked. Didn't think about a way out. And that's kind of what Spirit is saying has been happening with some of y'all. But unfortunately, it's starting to turn physical. It's no longer just a mental thing. Oh, I'm just depressed today. It's like an ailment, an ache, a pain that you can't seem to get rid of in your body keeps trying to manifest from this type of energy. All right. And again, somebody kind of feels like if I would have left or did this thing different, the woulda, coulda, shoulda is back then. What are you doing now? Time is not really linear, though we seem to like to live it in a linear sense. It's not necessarily linear. So what's happening is because you're choosing a concept of the past to stay in, you're making that past your present every day, even though that thing that you might have been dealing with may not even be physically around you no more. You're not letting it go. And it's like Spirit's like, let it go, get over it. It's no longer the present. Anything that is your present is only lingering this long because you're more focused about how to maintain it than to let it go. The moment you let it go, you will see the difference in your health. You will see the difference in your mentality. And whatever this entity is on you that keeps feeding off of it, it will starve. Now, granted, remember, entities can be like wild beasts. When they start starving, they get like any other starved animal. Start losing their shit. So expect for it to look like, oh God, here's the chaos again. Expect that. To some capacity, you keep starving it. You purge it. And in our culture, whenever you felt an entity sitting on your chest, the elders would always say, cuss it out. Command it to move. That's your body, your spirit, your energy. Who the hell do they think they are sitting on you? Get off of me. You don't belong here. Get the hell out. I don't need to know who you are. Bye-bye. They tell you face your fear. Act like you got Kalima right behind you, or some other powerful warrior or deity of war that's like, I wish you would. I wish you would think you could sit here. Fuck around and find out. And you're going to notice something. And I want y'all to pay attention to it, because it's the energy that we're dealing with right now. You will notice how people that you thought were cool, ooh, they're going to show their ass. They going to show their ass. Because that's what that little entity was hiding in. Different versions of these people, or influencing different versions of these people. So that person you thought was your friend, who act like they were so supportive, now you see their jealousy. This isn't in your head. And I'm talking about not your opinion, but bona fide evidence. Like, you see what they're doing. It's not imagined. People might have been trying to tell you, this person talks behind your back. This individual keeps trying to set you up. How many of you have been watching the readings that I've been channeling lately, where literally mofos are setting people up? In one of the readings I did, I believe it was Dark Intent, somebody was trying to get a person hurt, like possibly jumped or injured really severely or worse, all because they couldn't get their way. If I can't get my way, you got to pay. The audacity. And a lot of y'all be feeling that. I shouldn't hang out with this person. I shouldn't go to that place. Everybody else might tell you, oh, it's cool, no problem, bro, dude, sis, whatever, like, just show up. But something in you says, don't do that. Don't go there. Listen to your intuition in conjunction with your instincts. Make sure that your instincts are coming from the deepest, most pure part of who you are, not fear, not self-doubt, or just doubt of people in general, because that will fool you. That's an illusion. Dive deeper than that. Sink deeper into yourself than that. Remove all of the what you went through in the past for a second. While they may carry lessons, what do I always tell y'all? Forget what you thought you knew, so that you can see what's really happening in that moment. Let the new information come in. Let it show you what's going on. But when you start allowing yourself to see, you can't then make excuses for these people or these situations. And again, if somebody has a person, like if you're saying, this sounds familiar, it don't feel like me, but I swear I feel like I got a friend going through this, you might need to check up on that friend. Listen to your instincts. Don't have the, I wish I woulda, coulda, shoulda before. You got to pay attention here. Because somebody feels like there was a person in their life that was applauding them, maybe giving them, again, praise or assistance, but something took place and they got distracted. They got distracted by all these other confusing thoughts or situations that were going on. They really had nothing to do with you, for whoever that's for. And then the next thing you know, you got to run out the door and leave, because notice his phone's going off. It's implying that an emergency came through and he's got to run from that date. Now, that could have been somebody calling and warning, the person you sitting with is setting you up, right? Or that could have been you were out at a meeting or in something important and you had to run out because you got a call, such and such is in trouble. This is what's going on with your house. This is what happened with your car. Or something to just like take you out of where you either were supposed to be, or to get you to run from what you were about to sign up for that you shouldn't sign up for. Take what resonates for your situation. But true colors will be revealed regardless. Let's wrap this one up. I might fit the other two in here. The other two situations were wild. Those were complete channels. So I probably won't go to the cards for those. But let's wrap this one up. Spirit is just reminding you, take care of your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health. Do not call yourself neglecting one for the other, because it's about being centered in all of them. There are situations and things going on that are trying to distract you from your path, trying to distract you from the legacy that you're feeling in your bones that you're meant to do. You might have to go about it in a way that you didn't necessarily plan to go about it, but you're still sensing, I'm meant to do X, Y, Z. And it's like every time you try to do that thing, something comes in to disrupt you. And there's something on your back, something on your chest that you need to expel, for lack of a better term right now. And simply burning Palo Santo and saging your house ain't enough. Those is cool and all, but you got to deal with what the energy is on the inside that's feeding whatever that is. Because as long as it can get fed, it might leave for 2 seconds, come right back. And it feels like it's affecting most of you in your sleep. Even when you take a nap, like, oh, I'm going to take a power nap. Any other time you take a power nap, you wake up pretty rested. Now you're just like foggy, hazy. Important shit's hard to remember, particularly things that benefit you. It's not even so much stuff that involves somebody else. It's stuff that benefits you. You're forgetting to take care of yourself. You're forgetting to take care of your obligations. And that's just not normal for some of y'all. I'm hearing not only let it go, but sometimes when you think you lost one, you actually won one. You got the 5 of Swords here. And these two were playing a game. And clearly somebody's the sore loser and the other person's gloating about it, right? You could have an individual around you that whenever you're going through something and you feel like you took a loss or took a hit, they kind of gloat about it. Oh, why you being such a wuss? Why you acting like a little bitch? And for you, it's like that was harder than you think it was just for me to get to that level or get to that point. Why are you making it seem like I shouldn't be concerned with what this is? And Spirit's telling you, you're wasting your damn time. You are wasting your time trying to argue with somebody else who takes joy in your misery or your failures and trying to get them to understand or sympathize with what you're going through. Next, you're wasting your time sitting in it. And the amount of time it took homie to sit here and be upset about losing that game, he could have moved on to something else. Oh, okay, dang, lost that one. I'll study it later. Maybe I'll level up in it. Maybe it's just not the game for me. I'll play something else, whatever. The sore loser thing or the like, I'm so defeated, that doesn't help you. Spirit's not telling you to ignore the initial feeling. It's saying recognize what that is and stop making a bet in it. Stop laying in it. You are wasting your time. You're wasting your effort. You could be doing something better. You could be elevated to a different level. And why are you wasting the vast majority of it trying to get people around you to give a damn who do not give a damn? Them giving a damn is not your responsibility. You just had to hear it that way. Them not caring is really none of your concern. That's just tiring you out. That's just making you irritable. Now you can't focus because you're so worried about why don't this person get my dream? Why didn't they get where I was trying to go with that? It's not their damn dream. It's yours. It's yours. Did you see Spirit sign anybody else's name to that but you? No. So stop forcing that. If that needs to be left, leave it where it is. They're going to be the same people wondering, how come you don't hang out with me? Why are you wasting your time explaining that? You told them before, hey, when I'm feeling down, when I'm feeling defeated, and I feel like I put in a lot of work and effort to get to where I am, you seem to laugh at me. Or you seem to make it seem like it's not a big deal. Some of these people you may not have to necessarily cut off completely, but you do need to realize that they are not your responsibility. Your dreams, your hopes, your success, whether you make it or not, that all depends on you. Worrying about them is like you're constantly going to a bank to cash a check that you know the motherfucking bank ain't got no money for you. But you're going to try to cash this fake behind check there anyway. And be mad when the staff is like, ma'am or sir, we don't have this kind of currency here. This isn't a legit check. We can't take this. What are you mad at them for? It's their job to tell you if they don't take something. It's their job to tell you this don't work here. This isn't our kind of currency. Why are you hanging around small-minded people anyway? Does that make, like, in hindsight, you might feel like you're kind of getting told off, but that's how Spirit has me talking to you, so it is what it is. If you were a friend of mine, I would tell you the same thing. You're wasting your damn time. If you were my brother, I would say, what the hell is wrong with you? If you were my sister, I would be like, are you shitting me right now? Because last time I checked, those people can't do what you're trying to do. I don't care if they're in the same field as you. That's cool to learn certain tips and tricks from, but even then, you're still going to have to see, okay, what's my way in that? how do I evolve in whatever this is? Because maybe this person was an expert. Maybe this was somebody that you looked up to, that you thought would help you. And instead they poo-poo on you. You want to know why? Because most of them are afraid that you're going to go further than they did. Oh, it was cool when you were the person that they could just, oh, this is such and such, and I'm mentoring them, and they know everything they know because of me. I taught them everything they know. It was cute when that's what it was, right? But then now that you're kind of like showing talents or charisma that they didn't have, now it's like, why are you being a little bitch about losing the da-da-da? You know, now the energy has shifted. True colors. True colors. Somebody got, again, a guardian or a person that used to look out for you. If this is somebody who's transitioned, they might have transitioned young, but it's like you think of this person or something that they've said to you whenever you're going through crap, and they're telling you the same thing I'm saying, like, your dream is yours. Where you're supposed to go is where you go. It's not that you can't take everybody just because. There's key reasons why. The reason sometimes I say things, in a very specific way to y'all is because you need to sometimes hear it. You can go anywhere and anybody could just tell you, oh, not everybody can go with you. You're not meant to take everybody with you. Oh, you gotta watch how many friends you have. No, there are key reasons why. Some people don't want you to go further than where they currently are. And what stops them from going further is that fucking mentality. We could all win. We could all be wealthy up in this piece, because first of all, wealth is different for everybody. Some people, wealthy is living in the middle of the woods by themselves off grid. That's wealthy to them. That will make them happy, and they'll support somebody from afar. Come in on occasion, bounce out. I got a whole godfather that can't stand the city. He will literally pop up for 2 seconds. In fact, he can't stand the city so much, he gets sick when he comes into the city. His lupus flares up. All other issues start affecting him when he's in the city. He works better out in the country. That's his wealth. That's his wealth of health, peace of mind, and everything else. He come here, stuff goes to crap. For other people, it's going to be having a crap ton of money. Whatever it is for you, there's a way to support other people without trying to hold them back. But the people you're dealing with, even though their type of prosperity is different than yours, they feel like, I'm an expert in what this is. How dare you go further than me? Who you think you are. And it doesn't matter how old they are. I'm not even going to sit up here and act like some of y'all are dealing with someone older than you. They could be your same age. They could be 2-3 years younger than you. But they've done what they're doing longer. So in their mind, it's like, how can it pay off for so-and-so and not for me? Because of their own mentality. Because of the undermining things they like to do. Let me tell you something. Especially if you're in some type of like artist industry, you're going to hear a lot of people tell you that you got to do sneaky, shady, grimy shit to get ahead. And every single one of them have some type of skeleton in that closet that they don't want anybody to ever know about. And it always hits the fan, and it always comes out, and they always suffer the consequence. So they try to make sure they add more people to that pot. Let me make sure I know so-and-so's. I just did a reading on this today of somebody watching a person, and as they watch that individual, they're trying to get dirt on them. But whatever you got in your closet ain't nearly as close as what they got in their fucking basement. But if they could just get something on you, they think heavy, heavy hanging over your head. Now when I tell you to dance like the little puppet I want you to be, you're going to have to dance because you don't want nobody to know about that skeleton in your closet. And then trying to be like that, their own dirt is going to come out. And no one's going to give two craps of what they thought they had on you. They're only going to care about the person who was opening their mouth trying to be a snitch in the first place. Even the snitching mentality. Don't tell when you see something really bad happen because, snitches get stitches. Let me put it in perspective. If you saw somebody getting hurt and you knew that was wrong and it was cruel and it shouldn't be happening, you're not snitching, you're handling a situation that's morally wrong. Versus if you see somebody who is just trying to change their life, live better, and you're like, let me go dig up some crap from their past to discourage them. Total different energy, right? Total different circumstances. That's why they have to do what they do. That's why they have to try to keep people tied up. Keep something heavy on a person's chest. Keep somebody stressed out. Heavy hanging over your head. You owe me this. You owe me that. That's not how things are supposed to go. That's how everybody tolerates it, because nobody, well, not, there's nobody, but most people don't want to have the balls to go, I'm not going about it that way. I'm not doing it that way. So when individuals like y'all who are resonating with this come forward and go, I'm not going to be shady and shifty for what I'm doing. I might have had some stuff in my past. I might have done some dumb things here and there, but I'm not going to stoop this low or not elevate myself. I see I do better when I elevate myself than when I'm doing low vibrational shit. You're going to see those people who were so supportive of you being toxic or so supportive of you being in this effed up mood that they're going to try and set you back. And that's what's feeding this entity. So if some of you are having nightmares, if in your nightmares you're running from someone, or you're feeling like a person is putting so much pressure on you, you can't breathe, your dreams are showing you as intuitively as your body and mind can comprehend it. Here's what's happening. This is why. Here's the cause and effect of it. And that's why it's now turning into something kind of physical. Some of you are getting anxiety where you didn't used to get anxiety before. Like, this stuff didn't used to make me anxious. Now all of a sudden you're anxious. That's your own instinct saying something's not right. We need to remove ourselves from these key situations. So this Cancer season is showing you how people are literally plotting. And it's telling you, check your feelings at the door. Don't go into this dramatic. Like, oh, now that I know so-and-so is doing me wrong, let me go argue with them. For what? You ever hear when people, like, I'm pretty sure all of you have heard it on something, be it a movie, somebody in your real life said it to you, but like some stuff goes down and people be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe such and such act this way. And like when you hear why they acted out, you get it. Like, I get why that person was upset at whatever that is, but everybody else just wants to gossip and make the person seem like they're crazy. Like, you should just tolerate being treated like shit, because that's your mom, or that's your boss, or whoever it is, and you're the only individual sitting there like, but actually that makes no sense. Like, you wouldn't want me to treat y'all that way. You wouldn't want me to be talking behind your back that way. So why are you cool with it happening with something else? Spirit's just sitting there looking at you like, yeah. So why are you hanging with these people? It's not adding up, right? It just, maybe you should leave. But you're so used to it. You're so used to being around that crowd or those influences. Even though in your head you're wondering, why do they act this way? Why do they think this way? I thought they were supposed to be friends with so-and-so too. I got a client that'll tell you, and a friend that'll tell you. Those people who are so quick to talk behind your back when you're not around, or they'll come to you and they'll be talking about someone else. Oh, they're definitely still talking about you. If they're doing it in your face about someone else that y'all both know, but they never say it when the other person's around, they're doing it to you too. They're probably sitting with the same person they're talking to you, like, oh, so-and-so's a bitch, such and such is, they're going to them and they're talking smack about you. You are not somehow special and immune in that sense. That's why your instincts are saying, leave this alone. It's just not worth it. It's overwhelming you, making it hard for you to concentrate and do what you need to do. And the only thing keeping you from giving up on whatever your goal is, or this desire to maybe move or escape this energy, the only thing keeping you from giving up is something deep within the core of who you are says, I have a path and I gotta walk it. But you're making that walk more difficult than it has to be. And whenever you're dealing with these outside energies that are influencing you, you still have to accept where you might be allowing it. That's how anything gets over on you. Whether it be spell, whatever. It has the ability to take hold and take effect because something in you is accepting it, or something in you is allowing and playing along with it. Why keep playing the game with the person that ain't really here for you? Instead, you could be focusing your attention on how to progress forward. How do I move forward, travel beyond the borders of where I'm at? There's two cards that have come out with this channel message that represents a transitioning or a traveling beyond a certain state of being. Wands is that same energy, because it's either I'm getting on the boat to go to the new space of success that these shipments want to take me to, or I'm finally receiving the rewards of all the effort I've put in up to this point. Whereas Six of Swords is like, I just got through a storm. I just rode through a storm to get to the other side of an entire different kingdom. I'm in a complete different space altogether from where I used to be. Both are transitioning energies. One may ask you to be a little bit more patient as the progress is taking, or tell you, hey, participate in this progress a bit more. I always tell y'all in my channel message, Three of Wands is never just, I sat here and I just waited and that's it. It's very, very rare that it's ever that. Because you had to do something just to get to the edge of that cliff in the first place, to even see those shipments of success come in. And you're 9 times out of 10 still doing something or processing a certain mentality or action as it comes in, which amplifies the effects and amplifies the effort. That Six of Swords is, we finally in smooth waters, thank God. Because that was a hell of a storm we just rode through. Wow. So something is trying to get you into a calmer space. And that's why all these distractions are popping up. Let's clear out this energy. This is probably already turned out longer than I anticipated it to be. Hey, girl. The other energy that I've been trying to do a live for, and everything has been getting in the way of that live coming out, it's about the energy of twos. I keep seeing people dealing with drama in twos. Some of you maybe threes, but for the most part it's two. And then one of them, I kept hearing the song, some of you may know it, Same Girl. Kept hearing it over and over. Messing with the same girl, messing with the same girl. 2 different energies channeled for this one song. And then one of them, if you are a masculine, or you might know the masculine, but I'm going to speak as if the masculine is present. So just be aware. I picked up on males, the male body, the male archetype, okay? But if you're a masculine dealing with someone and you feel like she's shady, she's not being honest with you, and you got people giving you a heads up that that person could be messing with an enemy of yours, or a person that tries to be your frenemy, you need to start paying attention. You don't have to be led and guided by that person that's telling you interpretation, because to be quite honest, around this particular scenario, I seen a lot of shady, shifty faces. It was like even the person giving you a heads up had a negative intent in what they were trying to tell you and in what they were trying to inform you about. But it's the fact that there was still some level of truth there that you need to be mindful of. The devil does not always lie to you. He tends to tell you the truth in a really effed up way in order to make you neglect it, so that later he can come back and go, oh, well, remember when I tried to warn you and you didn't listen? And then he can play on the insecurity later. So you have to pay attention to why you're feeling the energy already, and then why you're starting to get kind of like information that's confirming it. What I saw this woman do, this could be for money or clout. It feels like a bit of both. You could be in a career where you tend to be known more than not. It doesn't have to necessarily be something too crazy. It could just be you're that guy that everybody like, oh, so-and-so's cool. We all know him. We all hang out with that person. Maybe you're in an industry where you're pretty, you're public. Whatever you do is very public. People tend to know you. This person is having an affair on you with someone who doesn't like you. And that dumbass thinks that he's getting something from it, not realizing that she just goes wherever she thinks she can benefit. Whichever one of y'all can help her get into the crowds that shawty want to be in, help her connect to the locations, because there's places she can't get in without you. Nobody will let her in otherwise. I don't care if this is VIP at a club. I don't care if it's a political event, a party, a block party. Whatever it is, other people don't like this individual, or they feel kind of weird about her. But it kind of tolerate her because she's coming in with you. This is why y'all have to pay attention with the people y'all deal with and you lay with. It's not about judgmental bullshit. Everything carries an energy. And sometimes you're opening the door and letting people sit where they were never meant to sit. There is a whole salt trail at the front of the door to keep their ass out. But if they just cling on to the shirt of you, sometimes they can step over it. And now they're in the space. And now there's all kinds of mayhem happening. Hey, Cece. There's all kinds of disruptive energies. And the person that this individual is talking to, something about them isn't just shady. It's almost like reckless. Like the kind of person to go and do some dumb ish and not think about the consequence until they're in the thick of the consequence, and it can lead to dangerous energies. It felt like a dangerous game was being played. They run back. They tell this person certain things that you're doing. Watch who you pillow talk with. I don't care if you're like, oh, all I did was tell them about something that happened 12 years ago. It don't matter, because the person that they're going and telling it to is thinking about, how can I use this as arsenal? How can this be the bullet I take homie out with? It may be figuratively, but it's a bullet nonetheless. It's a shot fired nonetheless. And all the drama and all the back and forth will be around this one person. And you'll look crazy because you just don't want to listen to your instinct when it's telling you, something's off here. Why is she acting strange? Why is everybody telling me that they seen? And we're not talking rumor stuff. Like, she's acting weird. She getting kind of uppity. She feeling a bit entitled. What's happening here? And I seen this other guy, what he don't realize is that it's not that he's better than you. That's not the case. You're better as far as in the bed and all the other shit may be concerned, but she goes where she can benefit. And when she don't get what she wants from you, she finds somebody else to get it from, and she don't care if that person's an enemy to you or not. And it's going to create some bull. And I see it getting really dangerous if you're not careful and if you don't heed the vibration that you've been picking up on early. Now, again, it could be for you. It could be for someone you know. You could be the friend telling somebody, yo, this person's off. Something's not right here. Why is she hanging out with that person? Why is she acting like she's friends with the enemy, with the op in the first place? And now all of a sudden this person's talking about certain sensitive information about you that they shouldn't even know. Well, who else could have told them? There's a common denominator, and I'm going to need you to read the room for whoever that's for. But it's the energy of same girl. It's the same person involved in both of the dramas taking place with these dudes. It's not even them talking about just each other. It's her triggering it. And one person is like, I'm not even trying to be bothered with what homie's doing over there. But your name is coming out of their mouth anyway because of her. And when they realize, oh, she was just playing you, they're going to want to come for you like it was your fault. It's his fault that she played me. Like, technically she's playing both of y'all, so. And it's not on some mistaken identity thing either, because what I kept thinking about when I kept hearing the song was how at the end of that video, it was two sisters. They were twins or something like that. They looked alike. That's not what this is. Same mistaken identity. Oh, this girl looked like your... No. And I feel like whatever evidence you need, it's not going to be hard for you to find if you just take the damn blinders off. Be mindful of the person who you know is kind of like a shady frenemy who gives you the information, because while they're giving you the information, they're plotting too. They're thinking, if I tell you I can use that to my benefit, maybe you'll show off. Cancer season makes people sensitive. It highlights sensitive energies within you. And I'm feeling like Spirit is letting you know right now, don't just go somewhere and pop off. Don't do that. Dangerous space. Don't trust where this person's telling you to go. Dangerous space. You might show your behind, and it's the wrong place, it's the wrong time, and either you mess up an opportunity for yourself or it creates some type of violent scenario. I do not give warnings like that lightly. I don't care about a trendy piece of shit. It's a waste of time for me. So if I'm giving you that info, for whoever that's for, it's a rhyme and a reason. It's up to you to use your discernment, tap into your intuition and your instinct, which is already highlighting this problem, and get to the bottom of it. But you know this shawty foul. You know that already. You might have already dealt with some suspicious things that this person did, and no piece of ass is worth that. Especially when you're only getting a piece. I need y'all to start thinking about that. You're getting a piece. You're not even getting the whole shebang. It's not even really being shared like, oh, this is just us. No. For someone, this might not even be a relationship. This might just be someone that on occasion, it's a little bit of a situation. Like, I'm going to just get what I need from you. You get, or we're just using each other. Well, that's your first mistake. Cold world. Like, I just heard that clear as day. Cold world. Cold world. It's a cold world. Icy as a bitch out up here, okay? It's hot as hell outside, but this situation is real frozen. It's real cold. I'm going to need you to go ahead and put that mink on and leave the vicinity as soon as possible, okay? That's one particular situation that involved a set of two. For another, it was for feminine energy. So it's still like almost the same girl, but not in a toxic sense. In this sense, it felt like a woman who was single, and there's two interests coming towards you. Okay, one of them might be somebody's a Scorpio in that scenario. I feel like one of the guys, you may not say that you as the feminine can't be, but one of the guys has like a Scorpio vibe. So either it's heavy in his chart, or like I tell y'all all the time, all of the zodiacs play in your energy. Sometimes you're in different ones when you think you're in another. So this could be someone that moves much like a Scorpio. They seem to always be in a transformative state. Not everybody in that energy is doing it properly. Some people is toxic. It's more like change face. I'm hearing change clothes and go. Like different people changing faces, changing clothes. They're never in the same outfit. And if this was just for like a career, that would be cute. It would just mean they're multifaceted. But this is like, I'm cool with you on Monday. Fuck you on Tuesday. You're a bitch by Wednesday. We're best friends on Thursday. Friday, I might fuck you. And Saturday, it's in the air. Sunday, we'll figure it out from there. Get what I'm saying? Like, they never seem to come to you. Hey, kid, they never seem to come to you as just who they are. Because people can have layers, but none of these layers look truthful. All of these layers look really tacky and tied and played. But it's a set of two. Now, with one, I feel like a person can be so flirtatious it's almost uncomfortable. From that person, I didn't get nothing too bad. It was more like, it's like they try to play it like a joke. Like they're kind of serious about wanting to get with you or at least lay with you. But because you kind of brush them off, they make a joke out of it. Not necessarily at your expense, just kind of like, oh, I'm playing, I'm just, he. You know what I mean? That person could possibly be a fire sign or an earth sign, or again, they operate in a lot of that energy. If it's earth energy, they seem to do pretty well for themselves, but they're a little fucking unhinged. Okay? If it's a fire sign, they tend to be temperamental. They may not have taken their temper out on you, but they're temperamental. All right? 1 minute they're like, because I'm happy, and the next minute they're like, burn it all. But it was more like joking with them. I feel like that person's always high. I'm not going to say what their drug of choice is. That's their personal business. I ain't diving that deep. This ain't a personal reading. But it might feel personal because it's very specific. But I feel like they're always high off of something. They're never completely like there in the moment with you. Again, they're not necessarily dangerous, but they can be annoying. All right. So Spirit is telling you, be mindful of their annoyance. You might have to start being more serious with how you turn people down, because there's a feminine energy that I'm channeling here. You don't really turn people down. It's kind of like, it sounds like a joke. Boy, bye. Ain't nobody thinking about you. Stop doing that shit. I'm saying it to you how Spirit says it needs to be said to you. Stop it. Because it doesn't sound serious. It sounds like, I'm not really effing with you right now, but I might later. When you know good and darn well that you're going to mess with them never. It's never happening. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it. That's you. But you're sounding like, hee, maybe tomorrow. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's why this person is on you the way they are. That's why I feel like, I don't know how many of y'all saw the cartoon when you were younger, Hey Arnold. And in Hey Arnold, there was a character that would come up behind the girl and just breathe real heavy on her neck all the time. And she has to soccer punch him to get away. See, but you're not soccer punching nobody. You're just more like, hey, get off me. Hey, get out my face. Boy, you play too much. And to them, it sounds like you like when I breathe heavy down your neck, so let me do it more. Eventually, you'll cave in. Eventually, you'll give me the cookie or whatever the case may be. Now, that's boy one. That was your face. It's literally that. And it's mad annoying, but somebody's trying. And it's not that the energy's being nice about it. It's more like you just come off playful. Like you're not serious instead of saying, listen, it will never happen. Now, there is a person you say that to, and that's the energy that feels like the change face and go dude. That mug is throwed off. Whoever that is. That 1 minute I'm this with you, the next minute I'm that with you. They are crazy. You may have not seen they're crazy. I keep hearing Martin in my head. You don't know if they're crazy, deranged. This mug is crazy and deranged. And in their head, they gonna get you one way or another. And that's a problem. That's a problem when anybody think it, especially a crazy dude. That means that they don't care how they set you up. They don't care what they have to do to get you. And I saw somebody constantly being around that masculine and feeling hazy, feeling kind of, maybe this person sometimes tries to, because I feel like both dudes probably smoke something or do something, but this one might always try to give you peer pressure to do it with them. Don't drink nothing from this mug. Don't smoke nothing don't even be in the same room when it's cloudy with them. Don't go nowhere alone with this person. I don't play about these energies. I don't care what any other person, reader, I don't care. I'm telling you what I'm seeing. And the intent of this person is I'm going to get it however I can get it. And they're going to try to make it look like it was a willing participation when it wasn't. We're all grown here. I don't have to keep rolling around with that may mean. You probably already feel like that person's a bit of a creep. So you're a little bit more stern when you give them no's. But it's like every time you see them, they try to act like, oh, she want me. She knows she want me. She know that. Stay away from that person. I also feel like the other dude knows them and hovers around you when you're around that person. It's like something in their instinct is saying, even if she ain't effing with me like that, I should watch out for her when she's around this dude. Might have even told you, yo, man, don't be alone with him. I can almost hear this guy's voice because one of them has like it's not a husky tone. It's kind of, what's the word? It's not deep, like Barry White deep, but it's just, they naturally sound like they just woke up. The dude that's kind of funny and gets high all the time, he kind of has a voice, the way I'm hearing it. He always sounds like he just woke up. It's probably because he always high. But he's told you, don't, if you ever feel uncomfortable with dude, just walk over where I'm at. I'll watch out for you. That's because his instincts as a man is like, something wrong with him. I don't know him enough to know what's wrong with him, but I know something's wrong with him. So don't be that person who you're not listening to what you're being told and you're thinking, oh, it's cool if I chill with him anyway, and then end up in some mess that you don't belong in. I also feel like dude got some nutcases around him that he used to date before, that he's done crazy things to before, and they tend to like to fight the new girl that he's into. Stay away from that second guy. He's either a water sign, or like I said, there's the toxic version of a Scorpio energy around him where it always seems like he's changing faces, changing clothes, changing tones. But the one thing that stays consistent is he acts like you belong to him when y'all are in certain atmosphere. You may have never effed with this guy. If you did, maybe it was one time, and I'm really feeling sorry for you if you did. Because his energy is, he's throwed off. You just haven't seen all the levels of his crazy. You think he crazy when he acts like he's your man, especially if you've never laid with him. You might have even said, why do you act like I don't even know, bro? I only know you from going out or hanging around mutual people. Stop that. It's not cute. But he does it anyway, which shows you he doesn't respect your word. He doesn't respect who you are. If you are a masculine watching this and you're nodding your head like, I know somebody going through that right now, watch her back when she around that person. Don't involve yourself past where, your spirit is telling you need to. Sometimes people are moved to give you a heads up, but they're not necessarily moved to get completely involved because your choices and your free will are your own. And nothing's worse than you're trying to warn somebody about something and they'll just go do it anyway. Do you know how many people have lost their lives doing that? Like just, oh, so-and-so did it anyway. And you're jumping in front of the stray bullet, or you're jumping in front of the blade, or whatever it is coming for them, you try to block it. And not only do you possibly end up hurt, but that person goes off and messes with the individual anyway. So it seems like it was all for nothing. Like it was all for naught. Or someone's name gets tied up in a situation that it doesn't belong in, and people start coming after you like it's a problem. Whoever that other guy is, he's involved in Shady Ish. People need to stop seeing you even in the same atmosphere of this dude like you're cool when you know you're not. And when it comes to Anybody else that be asking you out and you know you don't want to talk to, you need to give them stern nose. Not the hee 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 hee. You think it's cute. It's not cute. There's a lot of dangerous games being played this month. Summer is hot for a lot of y'all. You're in hot spot spaces where a lot of energy is accumulating and it's bringing a lot of conflicts to the surface. In the midst of that conflict, there's like these key opportunities and moments for genuine success. But Spirit's saying first you got to see the real. First you got to purge what's been blocking you. Let's go to my, we're going to use my oracle deck because if my channeling gets too deep, we'll be going too far. We're going to use my deck, call it like it is. This is the only deck I think I'm going to go to for this situation. See what other layers are here, what other energies are participating in this. Could be someone you know, could be you. Only take what's your situation. If you find yourself watching this now or watching it later, you're hearing it for a reason. It's up to you to use your discernment to find out what that reason is. But that Same Girl song is significant for both of those situations. Though I don't necessarily feel like those two people, the guy being screwed over, the girl who needs to watch her back, I don't necessarily right now feel like these two energies know each other. But if you yourself is thinking, I know somebody in both of those scenarios, then that could be the reason you're led to watch right now. So that you know what's going on. We have breaking the law. Somebody don't like following, not just rules, but like, they don't like being told what to do. They have an authority complex. They don't like feeling as if someone's trying to be an authority over them. That could add to why they're hard-headed, but that could also add to why they're crazy. It all depends. Take what resonates for your situation. But there's a vibration of somebody just not liking authority. They have an issue with authority and a bit of a complex at the same time. I'm hearing you so crazy. So something about Martin is also significant. Called it Mistress of the Night. What was that first situation about? A girl playing two people. And whoever the good guy is. Whether you were somebody just screwing around with her. Whether you were trying to have a relationship. Bottom line is she running right to the enemy. And feeding them intel. Because she thinks it's going to benefit her. Even though some of the best places she get into is with you. Some people just are not. When people are wicked, they're not always smart. Like, they don't think things through completely. It's like, oh, so-and-so's not giving me what I need. Let me go run over here. But in hindsight, it'd be, girl, why would you run to the weaker? This dude can't do nothing for you but maybe give you money or something. But the other guy is literally helping you get into spaces where you can network. Why would it make sense to screw over the person that's giving you independence versus the individual who's going to try and, oh, you know you need this money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense. But wicked people don't have common sense most of the time. They only think about the gains. The reason they seem to get ahead more than the good person is because they're convicted to the bullshit. I said that in another reading. It's not that bad people get ahead because bad stuff is just so easy. It's because when an evil mug is committed to their bullshit, they will commit wholeheartedly, mind, body, and soul to screwing somebody over. They will invest in it. So it gives off the illusion that it's just all successful. The whole time, they got all kinds of mayhem and crises going on in their life. Half of them can't even seem to figure out why. Even though it should be obvious, they can't seem to. But when it comes to, you know, any of us that are walking a more divine path, whatever that divinity looks like for you, because it's going to look different for everybody, you don't always believe in what you're doing with that same level of conviction where you're willing to shovel through anything. And I do mean anything. You don't care. I'm seeing her in my mind, so it must matter. And then I'm going to get into these two cards. For whatever reason, I'm seeing Blue Ivy in my mind. And I don't bring up celebrities just because. I feel like their business is their business and it should be respected. But Blue is on stage with her mama. How many people are talking shit about this girl, but cannot do what she's doing. She is in a crowd that some people may never get in front of. And they're like, why she look like that? Why she doing this? Why she doing that? You can't even do what she's doing, and you can't do it confidently. And she looks quite motherfucking unbothered as she does it. This is not fan shit. This is just honesty. Watch the clips. She doesn't look scared. She don't look nervous. Like, she's just doing what she's doing. And everyone who's talking some level of crap about her, regardless of what the intent may be. Oh, I don't know if her mama should have her out there. I don't know if this should be. Evaluate yourself, because you're revealing something within you. You could be blocking your own child's blessing. You could be blocking something from someone else, which is also blocking your own prosperity because of your mental state and how you think. And you're projecting it on a person that you don't even know, on a situation and a circumstance that you know nothing about. It's something to that. It's something to a person believing in themselves to the capacity that they're unbothered about what anybody else thinks of it. Because nobody can do what you want to do the way you can do it. They can be in the same industry as you. They can be in the same field as you. But they cannot achieve the things that are personal for you to achieve. So the worst thing that people who've twisted the world around has ever taught you is that you have to be like somebody else. You got to be the next blah, blah, blah. Your record has to hit like this person over here. Your photo shoot got to look as good as so-and-so. None of them people matter to you. They can inspire you. You might even meet them one day and they could become your best friend. But they can't be you. And so there are going to be elements of what you need to do that is different. And unlike the twisted mug with the evil mentality who will just do what they do and not give a fuck about what no one says, you have a tendency of freezing yourself based on the opinions of others or based on a certain blockage that pops up because you take it too personal. I take what this person said personally, so now I can't do what I gotta do. Oh, I'm messing with this girl and she run into the enemy doing XYZ, so instead of cutting her, I'm just gonna cuss everybody out. For what? Why? She's a mistress of the night. Leave her in the night. Leave her right there in the dark by herself. Whatever goes on in her life, that's her problem to deal with. It don't matter what her woes, fake successes are. Whatever she tries to do, leave it there. For this second situation, you got the breaking the law energy. Somebody doesn't like an authority. They don't like feeling like they're being told what to do. And I feel like how that applies to the two guys scenario is that other guy doesn't like the word no. He has an authority complex. You saying no to him doesn't make sense to him. He's used to getting yeses. That's why he's willing to do whatever he feels he needs to get it. Whatever lie, whatever drug, whatever. And that's why when you're around this person, you might sometimes feel almost sickly, almost woozy. Pay attention to I said in the last reading before, some of y'all be allergic to like karmic people. And you don't realize that's what it is. But it's like you get around the person and you break out in hives. Or, you're talking with them and you feel sick. You don't even know why you feel sick. You were fine. Every time the person leaves your immediate vicinity, you're cool. Like nothing ever happened. But they pop up next to you again and you feel foul. And when somebody makes you feel nauseous, and it's not their cologne or perfume, it's just them. The essence of them. That is literally your entire being saying, get the hell out of here. Get away from this person. They don't like hearing no. And they're willing to break the law if it means they get a yes. All of this energy is interrupting a divine connection. Because none of these people that we're talking about are a divine counterpart to you. None of them. They're all different situations that are part of you by tolerating a certain space or group that you find yourself caught up in and around. It's not the fates trying to do you dirty. If anything, they're trying to give you the heads up to leave. When you don't learn from a certain lesson, you either repeat it with the same person or with people who might be a different face, same devil. It's the same kind of energy. It's the same kind of entity. Just like the other message, something sitting on your chest that don't belong there. Something on your back making you feel weighed down that don't belong there. And meanwhile, while this card can represent divine counterparts, divine connection can be divine connections in business, friendships that actually elevate you and help you get ahead, people who care about seeing you win. They're not intimidated, insulted, or jealous of your wins and successes. They're proud of you. They support you. You support them. Everything's genuine. And that can lead you to divine love. And sometimes y'all be like, oh, I'm not thinking about love or whatever. Love doesn't care if you think about it or not. Like, it's an ultimate vibration. You literally cannot reach enlightenment without understanding love. It's fucking impossible. They go hand in hand. Somebody might want to try to tell you different, but just pay attention to the scale. People who tend to do the work they love, they are with the partner they love, and it's all genuine. Whenever they move from a position of love, they are not only happy, but their successes feel more whole. They're always made whole. When a person is grimy, shady, shifty, they're always greedy. It's never enough. And they don't just try to allow themselves to naturally expand. They try to suck up everybody else's stuff. I'm going to suck up their success. I'm going to take their glory. I'm going to F over their grace. That's somebody who's not operating from that emotion. They will play like they're enlightened. It is not the equivalent of being. So someone's energy here is blocking a connection that's really important because of these games. It's like all these people want to show up to distract you right now. Get you caught up in drama, put you in dangerous situations, have you tolerating energy you wouldn't otherwise tolerate, just so that by the time the good thing shows up, you can't even recognize it. Or you're so full of maybe anger, resentment, feeling depressed, whatever, that you kind of neglect it in some capacity. We're just calling it like it is. If you don't need it, why keep it? It or them, or be there. You don't need to be there. Why are you there? You don't need it. Why are you keeping it? You don't like them. Why are you talking to them? Shh. I'm telling you, we have lies they tell, shameful heifers. A liar. All these people lie to some capacity, like try to give you, in some cases, a false sense of security just to pull the rug from under you. They've done that multiple times. For some of you, it's a person who's pretending like they don't mean ill, but their intent is mad ill. Like I said earlier, cold world. But you're not meant to be in that cold world. You're not meant to be in that cold space. Where you belong is someplace loving, tropical even. Somebody's from like the islands, or your family's from the islands. But I'm seeing, I mentioned Indonesia with one of the messages before, but this is tropical. This is like Jamaica, or I'm seeing the Haitian flag. I don't recognize this other location, but it looks like it's by a beach. It looks like a beach. The water's very clear. This could be like Mexico, like Cancun or something like that. This image I'm seeing in my mind. But somebody has roots, like island roots, Haitian roots. There's a strong magic to you that comes from that bloodline. That could be another reason so many negative entities like lashing onto you, because your lineage is a lineage of power. And by being able to dictate or control you or manipulate you to any capacity, they think they're tapping in. Like, oh, I'm tapping into that person's side. Now, somebody here needs to be mindful of who you talk to from your ancestry. Because not all ancestors are good ancestors, okay? Not everybody was like, I love all my future generations and may they all be prosperous. Nah, some were like with some negative ugh. And if they can live vicariously through you, I tell y'all all the time, when you do ancestors work, you're not here to live their hardships. You're not here to perpetuate the bull. You are here to free yourself, and in doing so, you free them. Any of them that can't seem to really cross over, any of them that can't seem to elevate, they learn as you learn. And that's why the ones who are really for you, they're always leading you to prosperity. They're not leading you down a road that says be vengeful, be evil, be twisted, be because all that is just keeping you in the same vibration. There are certain locations in this world where certain events took place, and while it at first seemed to have worked, the land was never purged. Haiti, in many cases, for some is that. It's a very spiritual, high vibrational place in some aspects, but in others, it's been through so much shit. And when revenge was taken on behalf of that shit, there wasn't much purification afterwards. So you have a lot of elders that'll still go to the waters and still go to certain locations to try to purify that energy. The younger generation isn't just meant to purify and that's it. You're meant to live better. Not just, okay, I made an offering, I hope y'all feel better. Be the better. You are descendants from people with great power. Act like it. Matter of fact, don't even act like it. Be it. It doesn't matter what their title was. Shaman, shamanist, priestess, happy. It doesn't matter. What matters is the essence. And that essence is what someone is trying to tap into for someone here with that kind of lineage. There's other islands I'm picking up. I mentioned Jamaica, different places. Some of you, your roots in those locations go back further than you think they do. Like a lot of times if someone's Jamaican, they just think of more so their Afrocentric roots. Like, okay, that's where we were from, and, the slave trade and blah, blah, blah. There were indigenous people there already. And contrary to popular belief, they were also dark-skinned. They were also different skin tones, hair textures, and grades. They did not die off. They simply married into other lineages and families. Some of them did that to protect themselves. Some of us have whole families where people would pretend to be something else to survive, but keep the old teachings and the old ways. So you might find that as you connect more with your lineage, you're led to spaces and energies that you never thought, like, what does that have to do with me? It has everything to do with you. That's why you're hearing it and feeling it, especially when you know that you had no previous influence of what it was. Somebody here may not know that they have roots too deep in Haiti. You just know your family at one point might have spoke French. Somebody, I thought I was from Louisiana. Nah, goes back further than that. You might keep dreaming about an elder that might look like you, but culturally seem different than the culture you were raised in. And there's nothing else around you to influence that. That's one of the first signs sometimes that you're getting an intuitive hit, is when you start seeing things and you're like, I know I didn't grow up around that, so why is that here? What's the purpose of it? And instead of disregarding it because it's unfamiliar, pay attention to it. Humans will teach you shit backwards sometimes, based on personal opinion, personal upbringing, cultural structures, society structures. They make you think that your ancestry can only go as far as what it looks like. But truthfully, whatever cultures, whatever backgrounds play into your family matter. They can all influence, be it positive or negative. You might go, I don't care about the Asian side of my family because they were racist. No, there was a certain group of them that were. That ain't everybody. Everybody is cousins to each other. Everyone is connected. So when you start getting info coming in from those relatives who are trying to assist you, they're trying to heal a trauma that has taken place in the lifeline, and for whatever reason, there's 1,000 reasons, they feel you're the perfect person for the job. You may not think so. You may not think you're qualified. Some of y'all end up on paths that you never thought you would be on. You're doing spiritual work and you never thought in a million years that you would do it. You're ending up in creative spaces you never thought you would do. You went to school to be a damn engineer. You didn't think that you were going to be a celebrity or a public influencer, or if it's not that, you didn't think you would be in engineering. You didn't think you'd be building shit with your own hands, but you are, because that ancestry saw that power in you. And that power is not theirs alone. Your own personal incarnation holds the key for it, meaning the core of your soul outside of just the lineage is a key part of it. Because our souls have been here a gazillion times over. Some of us can count exactly how many. Some know that it's an infinite amount. And there's information, there's lessons and practices and rhymes and reasons that comes with that experience. And sometimes it likes to cultivate in a particular moment in time because it's crucial. And this time is very crucial. I don't care where you are in the world. I don't care what year it is where you are in the world. Right now in this moment, if you can hop your behind on a plane and get to where I am and I can get to where you are in a crucial time. I don't care if you want to call it the age of Aquarius, if you want to call it the new golden dawn, whatever you want to call it, it is crucial. And so a lot of these energies are cultivating at one time and putting you, or trying to put you, where you need to be for the major events that are happening. And there are more major events to come. 2024 is going to rev shit up. 2025 is going to take it to the next level. And some of you are meant to be in certain positions and spaces by that point, because you are going to be of influence. I am not sitting here feeding you fairy tales. You are going to be of significance where you're supposed to be. But understand something. You have free will. Some stuff is, you're going to always find yourself ending up in spaces that you didn't understand how you got there. And if you're not ready to take that step, if you're not ready to move forward, the only person halting the process at that point is you. Enemies are going to do what they want to do. Ops are going to be ops. That's what they are. That's the point. Opposition, opponent, whatever. Your job is to focus on what you are energetically meant to vibrate with. Where is your destiny aligning you? Do not restrict that to simply a chart. A chart is an explanation. It is not the full story unless you're reading it completely for self only. Many do not do that. Many generalize. Step out of the generalization and dive deeper into who you are. All the elements. This is an alchemic time. That's why many have been moved to focus on that a bit more. I know I got alchemy content that I still have to put out for y'all. But you need to understand what you're working with regardless, even when you step into that field. Some of y'all do things and it pans out and you don't understand why, because of that power in you. You touch things and they seem to grow. People come to you and their mind seems to expand. Everyone feels healed around you, but sometimes you feel so drained because you don't understand how to hold energy and space for yourself. This happens a lot for divine feminists, but divine feminists working with the womb space tend to know how to still kind of dive within. For masculines, it's a little bit of a harder process because everything seems to expel from you. You carry as well, but things tend to expel from you more. So it leaves you feeling more depleted. We have whole alchemic practices around the world on teaching a man just the retaining of seed helps you tap into a higher vibration. Tap into a higher form of mentality. And then understanding the level of climax and understanding the power in it, by the time you reach it, helps your body understand how to replenish without draining the feminine that you're working with or the sexual partner that you're dealing with, especially when it's a feminine. Because the feminine tends to take things in, take things on, and it will and can affect the womb space. Some of you find yourself kind of knowing that, and that's why you started moving different. You used to probably be maybe a little bit more promiscuous, and you started being like, I think I should slow that down. And when you did, it was like certain knowledge just came to you. You found yourself knowing shit that you're like, I've never heard my relative talk about that before. How do I know it? Because the knowledge has always been there. It's just bringing it out now. Letting it come to the surface now. This is the time that you're in. So yes, you're going to see bullies come out of nowhere. You're going to see all different matters of ops. You're going to see entities that some of y'all didn't think was real. You thought your grandma and your papa was pulling your leg when they told you about that demon on the back of this thing, and you're going to start seeing the truth. Some things are going to have a different name. Some things are going to be described different than what you were taught, because the people who taught you could only go by what they were taught. We're not here to be held prisoner by some of those energies anymore either. So this is the time that you're in. This is the essence of the situation. Much success can be found here. Much diving deep into yourself and learning and knowing who you are. The alchemy of that. The overall essence of it. But along with that comes getting rid of those habits that aren't helping you. Those people, those situations. The energy to move, to be in movement, motion. Go forward. Expel. Purge. That is where we are right now. And it's not going to stop once we get to Leo season. Leo season is just going to have some of y'all bold as F. If you were kind of playing it shy, kind of hiding, I'm going to just sit in the cut, hope nobody sees me. You're going to all of a sudden find yourself in situations where you're at the forefront. How did I get to the front of the class? Who said I wanted to be up here? Page of Pentacles, you're Batman, not Robin. There's a reader I love who says that all the time. You're Batman, not Robin. Like, that's where you guys are. You're not meant to be the sidekick or the side character. So sometimes spirit will literally put you in a situation where all eyes on you. Everybody's trying to see what you're doing. And that means that some of the people watching you have negative intent. My job is to let you know and mention the tools or the different things you may need to elevate. But for all purposes, it is not to walk through the door for you. It's not to do the task for you. None of that. Here's the info. What you do with it, how you utilize it is up to you. I'm just going to give it to you as raw and honest as it can be. And for some of you, sometimes you need a little bit gentler. Sometimes some of y'all just need to be cussed out. I try not to do the cussed out thing because there's too many people out here who just do that for no damn reason. But at the end of the day, I prefer to see you elevated to the highest capacity of your being. And I know that that is an unlimited space. Nobody can wear your crown. No one can fit your Cinderella slipper. It's yours. But you got to understand how to use it, and you can't keep just pretending to be it. You have to become it and be it. It's in your essence. Let it out. Real power isn't going to tell you to chump somebody else and make another person be under you. That's why you're being showed all these other individuals who might have helped you. Maybe they did assist you to get to a certain point spiritually, mentally, or physically. But at some point, they decided you were going too far. They need to stop you now. Instead of seeing that when you elevate, they elevate. There's no need for anybody to be greedy. There is enough existence for everybody. We are in an ever-expanding universe. But because you've been taught to be greedy, we see reflections in our world that show what that greed bears consequence of. When you think there's not enough, you deplete. And that's why certain energies around you feel so draining. Like, oh my God, why is it when I'm with this person, I just feel so damn tired? Because all they know is how to eat your energy, not fuel it. They may not always have a negative intent, but it is what it is. So when you hear that island water calling you, some of you need to get near a body of water. When it rains, if it's not going to make you sick, you need to go out. I do this every time it rains here, especially, when it's not like too hot or too chilly. Even sometimes when it's chilly, I will go out on my ramp and I will stand in the rain for a couple of seconds and just talk with nature. Some of y'all aren't used to doing it, but you find yourself feeling the need to do it. Take your shoes off. Get in the grass. If you live somewhere where that grass ain't safe, it could be some stuff in that. Find out where there's a location where you can walk around barefoot in the dirt. But you need to get to nature. And for many of you, especially those of you who have some type of living by water roots, be it, even if it's just a place that has like a river nearby. You may not always have to get in it, but go near it. Be in the vicinity of it. Drink lots of water. Keep yourself hydrated. Make sure you're drinking the good kind of water, please. Don't drink the water in the cheap ass plastic bottles that helps to calcify your pineal gland. That's not helping you. You want to decalcify, not calcify, okay? For those of you who need to get out in the sun, get out in the sun. You need to interact with the elements. We are people of element. All of us, our indigenous roots was to be as close to nature as possible. Farm life didn't make sense to us. We were used to garden forests where you could just go out in the forest and pick what the fuck you need because the forest had a plentiful amount of it. All you did was sometimes help it along, but you didn't come in and plow things and knock stuff down and deplete the space and all that. That's not what we did. So you're returning back to that state. And when you do, it amplifies the body. Now, it's not saying that some of y'all are going to all of a sudden have a new diet overnight, but you can start a process of being mindful of your gut. Remember, in the earlier message, the heaviness was in the solar plex, which is where the diaphragm is, and in the heart region. For some of you, it starts working its way down into the gut. And your gut is your fourth brain. What you eat sometimes controls your emotions, and whether you have brain fatigue or fall. Some of you need to get your hands on lion's mane. It's a mushroom. Check which herbs are going to work for your system. Some things you might need to wean yourself onto because it's going to purge a lot of other stuff from your body. Like when I say this is a purging time, I'm not just talking energetically. Some of y'all going to see some stuff coming out your body that don't make no damn sense. Like, what was that and how did it get there? We'll get a few more cards and then we're going to call it. Back to the earlier message. We have weakness and hateful comment. Stop falling prey to hateful comments. Stop feeling the need to fall victim to what other people think or say about you when it is not conducive to your highest good. There is a difference between I won't even just say constructive criticism. Sometimes it's constructive critiquing. Because criticism a lot of times can just be a person telling you everything they don't like about you or everything that you're doing wrong and never actually giving you feedback that assists. It's like watching those two white dudes when they do Rotten Tomato and every movie they talk about is just a piece of shit to them. But you'll watch and go, there was good moments in that, because they're hell-bent on what didn't work instead of what does work sometimes. But critiquing is more like, okay, I see what your problem is. I'm not here to dog you. Here's some of the solutions. Maybe here's some of the steps you can take. I tell y'all all the time, there's no problems without solutions. There's no questions without answers. I'm just not meant to answer them all for you. I'm not meant to tell you every little nook and cranny of your life. It's yours. I give you enough so that you can wake the hell up and then act accordingly. Be accordingly. That's it. That's my only job. Okay? And again, for some of y'all, this may feel very personal. This isn't even a personal reading, so imagine what a personal one for yourself would be. This is how intense the energies right now are. Don't let somebody's hateful thoughts or comments be your weakness and hold you back any longer. Stop hearing it and then, oh, okay, I'll do that tomorrow. Tomorrow will never come. Do it now, in this moment. Accept your power. Accept what it is that you're meant to do. Please understand that you're an evolving, multidimensional being. So what you might need to do for the rest of this year could completely shift by next year. But if you pay attention, you'll notice the gradient effect. How it's all a matter of leveling up. And whoever's dealing with the same girl situation, or you're the girl that's dealing with two dudes and they're both kind of weird, last warning, be mindful of the one that is too damn pushy and acts like he's yours already. That dude is crazy. There's something wrong with him. That's the reason why the other goofy one tends to be protective of you. Stop telling people you don't like them in an almost playful way. Be more blunt. Be more serious in what you say. And if you're a masculine dealing with a shady girl who's messing with an enemy of all things or a frenemy of all things, stop thinking, oh, well, it's just sex. Sex is energy. You are taking on her shit as well as whatever your shit is. And it just so happens that by her raw dogging your enemy, you're dealing with that too. Because she is raw dogging your enemy. Like I said, you're just getting a piece. You're not even like getting the whole thing. It's not worth it. It should never be worth it. It's not worth it. Finally, we have make love or war. Which are you trying to support in your life? You soldiered through a lot of stuff already. So do you want more chaos? Do you want more war, more conflict? Or do you actually want peace of mind, peace of body, peace of spirit? It's just that simple sometimes. It can be that simple of a choice. And sometimes you just need a person to bring it in perspective. It's not saying that the make love energy is going to always be easy per se, or that it's not going to necessarily pose a challenge. Some challenges are good challenges, right? Like sometimes it's a challenge to work out, but the benefits is like, wow, right? Depending on how you know what to do. It's the same thing. Some challenges make you feel good, like, oh, that was amazing. Okay, what's the next level? Those of you who are gamers, what happens when we play a game and all the levels are the same? We're bored. We're done with the game. We don't want to deal with this no more. We already beat it. There's nothing new. But a game that always feels like it challenges you and it always feels like there's something new to learn and or do in it, you constantly find yourself replaying it. Not just for the nostalgic feeling, but because you feel like your mind is working different every single time. That's life. If you didn't know, right? So sometimes the good is going to seem like a challenge, but it's a good kind of challenge. Not the toxic fight with everything, everybody feeling depleted, drained, starved. That's not how this universe operates. Everything in your universe, everything in existence operates in cooperation with each other. Anything that doesn't tends to implode on itself. Nature is a cycle that works in conjunction. This is why, again, our people were used to having forest gardens, not this farm garden stuff they do today, where it's more of a depletion than a give to or allow to expand of and just create enough space to support you and yours. There's a big difference between the two, and you're starting to realize this spiritually, mentally, and physically with your own body. So if you want to get that heaviness off your heart, get that energy from making you feel shortness of breath, this is going to be something that can help you. It's not saying to neglect the medical, but you might find that some of you realize that the holistic way works for you better than the so-called wannabe modern science way. Again, I can't give you medical advice, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, you get what I'm trying to say. They got me shuffling again. Let's see why. Don't be a bum, shawty. And I'm hearing don't hang out with bums. So, your tribe is your vibe. Where energy goes, where focus goes, energy flows, okay? I'm going to shuffle out this energy. That is the message for today. My alarm clock ringing loud as fuck. Notifications are confirmation. So, even when they're annoying, even when they seem to come out of nowhere, notifications are confirmation. So, something feels like you had to be put on notice. Maybe even a little bit of put on blast, naughty. Might have been a little calling you out. Especially if it made you jump like, what the fuck? Something's like, yeah, and another thing. Alright, that's the end of this message. If anything was confusing, let me know before I log.